The internet is losing its mind again. Because Chrisean Rock just dropped a bomb so explosive it makes the Amber Heard trial look like a kindergarten spat. Yep, you heard that right. Chrisean Rock has finally broken her silence. And what she revealed about Bino's robbery case and his secret sentence just flipped the entire hip-hop world upside down. We're talking betrayal, backdoor deals, and a twist so wild it could make even Zeus drop his lightning bolt in disbelief. This isn't just drama, it's a crime saga, a love story, and a street soap opera all wrapped into one messy, meme-worthy meltdown. And Chrisean didn't whisper her truth, she roared it. She aired out secrets that were supposed to stay locked tighter than a Drake feature list. Now fans are flooding social media, rappers are picking sides, and Bino? Let's just say his name is trending for all the wrong reasons. So grab your popcorn. Because what started as whispers and the demons just became the loudest scandal of 2025. And trust me, after this, the streets, the blogs, and even the courtrooms won't ever look at Chrisean Rock the same way again. It all started with whispers, quiet at first, almost like background noise in a world already drowning in chaos. But with Chrisean Rock, silence never stays silent for long. The woman who made headlines for chaos now had the internet begging for more. And when she finally opened her mouth, it wasn't just talk, it was a detonation. She sat there, eyes locked on the camera, that signature Chrisean fire burning through her glare, and said, "Y'all really don't know what's been going on, boom." That one sentence sent shockwaves across every blog, gossip page, and group chat in America. Fans didn't blink, they refreshed. Because what came next made the entire Blueface saga look like a middle school breakup. She claimed Bino. Yes, the same Bino she had been spotted with during her wild post-Blueface era was caught up in something darker than anyone expected. A robbery case, she said. But not just any robbery. According to her, it was the kind of setup that could make even the toughest rappers call their lawyers in advance. The whispers became screams. People were already digging court records. TikTok detectives were decoding every Instagram story. And Reddit was on fire. Chrisean's tone wasn't one of pity or defense, it was pure, unfiltered vengeance mixed with heartbreak. "They tried to make me look crazy," she snapped. "But they're the ones hiding cases and secret sentences." That line hit like a diss track. Fans instantly clipped it, and within hours, it was everywhere, looping on Twitter, blasting on YouTube Shorts, and turned into sound bites for TikTok edits. Bino, who had been keeping things low-key since his last viral moment, suddenly found his name trending with hashtag robbery leak and hashtag freebino or nah. The internet divided faster than an NBA playoff crowd. Some said Chrisean was exposing real truths, others accused her of being petty. And a few conspiracy fans even claimed the robbery was connected to her own legal chaos. But one thing was clear, the story was no longer about rumors. It had receipts, screenshots popped up showing text messages, court dockets, and even demons allegedly from Bino's circle. Some fans swore they saw his mugshot reappear online, while others leaked messages suggesting he'd already served time, secretly. That's when the word secret sentence started trending. What did that mean? A plea deal? A hidden conviction? Or maybe something even messier? Meanwhile, Chrisean played it smart. She didn't drop everything at once. She teased it, breadcrumbed it, and made the world beg for part 2. Every few hours she posted a cryptic message. "Y'all gon' see why I kept quiet." The suspense was unbearable. She turned heartbreak into marketing. It was performance art wrapped in street realness. By this point, celebrities had started reacting. Cardi B went live saying, "Girl, I knew something was off with that man." Meanwhile, Blueface, ever the opportunist, tweeted, "Told y'all she attract criminals," within minutes. That post had over 100K likes, and just as many quote tweets dragging him for hypocrisy. Because really, Blueface talking about criminals is like a raccoon judging someone for dumpster diving. But here's the twist, just when everyone thought this was another social media stunt, documents began circulating showing real legal filings under Bino's name. If true, this wasn't just tea, this was a whole pot of boiling evidence. Fans noticed dates didn't line up. If Bino was locked up, how was he simultaneously seen in Chrisean's IG stories? People started questioning whether he had cut a secret deal. Or worse, if someone in her circle was snitching. That's when things turned cinematic. Bino's old friends started unfollowing him. One posted a story saying, "Real ones don't fold," another cryptically added, "Paperwork never lies." Boom, the internet exploded again. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Was Bino the victim, or was he the villain? Chrisean didn't back down. She doubled down. "You can't hide the truth forever," she wrote on X. "They played with me. Now I'm playing back." That post alone racked up over 3 million views in a single night. And while some accused her of attention-seeking, others saw it as her finally taking control. But here's where things spiraled even further. Bino's cousin went live and dropped a jaw-dropping statement. Man, y'all don't know half of it. Bino ain't in jail because he snitched. He out because he took the blame for somebody else. Suddenly, the narrative flipped again. If he wasn't the villain, maybe he was the fall guy. Social media turned into a courtroom. TikTok detectives created entire timelines mapping out who was where, who posted what and when. One viral thread claimed Chrisean knew about the case all along and only went public after things went south between them. Another theory said she was protecting herself from being implicated. Either way, it had people locked in, and the memes? Oh, they were merciless. One viral meme showed Chrisean holding court documents like it was the Grammys, with the caption, "And the award for best legal leak goes to." Another showed Bino photoshopped into a Monopoly card reading "Get out of jail secretly." The internet was eating it up. Meanwhile, Bino's silence spoke louder than any response. No live, no post, no clapback, just ghost mode. And that silence made it worse. In a world where everyone defends themselves instantly, Bino going quiet felt like confirmation. People were saying if he was innocent, he'd say something. Then a new twist dropped. A reporter claimed Bino had already met with his attorney to prepare a statement, but backed out last minute after Chrisean allegedly threatened to leak the rest. That rest became the most dangerous phrase online. Everyone wanted to know what else she had. Dima's videos? Recordings? At this point, it wasn't about music or gossip, it was about survival. The rap world thrives on image, and one wrong narrative can destroy everything. For Bino, his street cred was crumbling. For Chrisean, her power was surging. She was no longer just a chaotic figure in Blueface's orbit. She was a storm itself. But what made this even wilder was how fast fans turned this into a redemption arc. Chrisean 2025, the truth teller era. One fan tweeted. Another said, "She's not toxic, she's transparent," within days. Hashtags like #RockTheTruth and #JusticeForBino were trending. Ironically, on the same day, the internet couldn't decide who to side with, so it just fought itself. By now, every outlet from TMZ to the Shade Room had picked it up. One commentator said this story got more twists than a Netflix crime doc, and they weren't wrong. Because right as people thought it was over, leaked footage surfaced, grainy, low quality, but enough to spark chaos. It allegedly showed Bino and another man at a store hours before the alleged robbery took place. If that footage was real, the case wasn't just secret, it was manipulated. And if it was fake, someone was playing a dangerous game of reputation roulette. Either way, Chrisean Rock had just unleashed a storm that no one could control. And as the dust settled online, fans realized something chilling. Chrisean's truth might just be the opening act, because every time she says she's done talking, she ends up dropping a nuclear tweet that sends the whole industry scrambling again. Now everyone's watching, waiting, refreshing, wondering what she'll say next. Because one thing's for sure, this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. By the time the sun rose the next morning, the internet had officially gone feral. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all flooded with Chrisean Rock conspiracy threads, digital courtrooms, and fan-made case files. What started as gossip had mutated into a full-blown investigation. And in the middle of the chaos, Chrisean stood tall like she'd just burned down the house and dared anyone to rebuild it. But then came the aftermath. The industry was whispering, and you know when record labels start sending no-comment emails. Things are serious. People close to Bino were scrambling to control the narrative. One insider claimed Chrisean exaggerated the secret sentence. Another said she exposed details of an active case. Either way, the damage was done, and Bino's reputation was leaking faster than a broken faucet. The internet doesn't forgive easily, but it forgets even slower. Memes were still flying, YouTubers were uploading timeline breakdowns, and even random podcast hosts were suddenly legal experts. But the worst hit came when Bino's alleged lawyer, yes, the lawyer, went on a local radio show and hinted that statements made online could complicate pending matters. Translation? Chrisean's mouth might have just made things legally messy. And yet, she didn't care. She was doubling down like the queen of chaos she's always been. In a new live stream, she smirked, "I said what I said. Ain't nobody gonna silence me." Boom. That's all it took. Another million views. Another round of HASHTAGS. This was no longer about right or wrong. It was about power. Chrisean had managed to turn her pain into a platform. Every post, every rant, every leak, perfectly timed, perfectly chaotic. She wasn't just trending. She was controlling the narrative. Even people who hated her couldn't stop watching. That's the secret sauce of a real viral queen. Love her or not, she owns your screen time. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, rumors spread that Blueface was secretly enjoying the show. Some claimed he'd been liking shady comments about Bino's downfall. Others said he wanted her back just because she was dominating headlines again. If that's true, it's giving toxic reunion energy. The kind of drama you'd only find in a Zeus Network series. But Chrisean wasn't looking back. In her words, "They laughed when I was quiet. Now they mad 'cause I'm loud," and that's when the shift happened. She became more than a headline. She became a warning. The message was clear: cross Chrisean Rock and your secrets won't just leak, they'll trend still. As the dust began to settle, fans were left with a bigger question. What happens next? Will Bino fight back? Will receipts drop that flip everything again? Or will Chrisean turn the scandal into a whole new era? Music, documentary, maybe even a courtroom confession special? Don't laugh. In 2025, that's a real possibility, because if there's one thing we've learned about Chrisean Rock, it's this: when you think the storm's over, she's already brewing another one. The girl doesn't do peace. She does ratings. And right now, her name is worth more than any song, any feature, any cloud chase in the game. Bino might have lost his freedom, but Chrisean gained control of the narrative, and that's worth gold in this digital jungle. What started as a messy love story turned into a saga about survival, revenge, and reclaiming power. She didn't just break her silence, she broke the internet. And somehow, she's walking away from it all with her crown still tilted, but shining brighter than ever. So whether you think she's a victim, a villain, or a viral mastermind, one thing's certain: Chrisean Rock just reminded everyone why the streets, the blogs, and the fans can't stop talking about her. The truth may be messy, but in her world, messy means money, and there you have it, another day. Another Chrisean Rock saga that makes Hollywood look like a Sunday school picnic. If your jaw's still on the floor, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money. Because let's be real, nobody drops chaos, truth, and entertainment this juicy like gossip sphere. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you riding with Chrisean for speaking her truth? Or do you think she just went full savage for clout? I want to see those debates light up harder than Twitter after a Drake diss track. And hey, don't just sit there scrolling. Subscribe if you live for scandals, secrets, and stories that keep the internet shaking. We're dropping new breakdowns every time a celebrity sneezes wrong. Because in this world, silence is suspicious and screenshots are forever. Stay locked in, stay loud. And remember, in the world of fame and fallout, there's no such thing as too much drama. This is Gossip Sphere, where the tea burns hotter, the truth hits harder, and the scandals never sleep.